Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of Chapter 3 of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, titled Grover Unexpectedly Loses His Pants. Which means that there was a time where it was expected of Grover to lose his pants. Also, I got the English, or the British edition of this, so instead of pants, it's trousers. Man. And it's throwing me off. There's different... And it's just throwing me off in small ways when reading this. I like that there's different versions for different countries, but also at the same time, it's kind of weird. Because it's not like if there's a too big a language barrier between us and the Brits. We speak the same language. And I don't believe, like in Harry Potter, other than the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, there's any changes from, in British lingo. It's just weird. And it throws me off throws me off as someone who is thinking about, who always says pants instead of trousers. And probably there's going to be other things too. Anyway, enough about that. So it starts off with Percy narrating that he abandoned Grover, which is fair, because Grover was like, he was shitting himself at this point, basically. Like, why is it always the 6th grade? Why is it always the 6th grade? Like, I would abandon you too if you started saying, why is it always the 6th grade? Yeah, why is it always the 6th grade, huh, buddy? So he goes home and we meet Gabe Ugliano. And Percy recounts that he's going to have to get summer jobs to pay for Gabe's gambling addiction. So Percy says that he hands the money over and he doesn't tell his mom, and that it's their guy's secret. In other words, Gabe will punch his lights out. Now, it does state will punch his lights out. It doesn't state he had punched his lights out. But also, it doesn't say anything that he didn't already punch his lights out. It's just like, it's heavily implied that Gabe is abusive, but it doesn't confirm and or deny if Gabe has already been abusive. But and a lot of people all assume he has been abusive to Percy. Which is like, yeah. So we get information on his mother, the basic bare bones of it. She's an orphan herself after her parents died in a plane crash. She dropped out of high school to take care of her sick uncle who also died, which is just like, damn. So she comes home and Percy starts telling about the year, but not about the museum, because obviously, now this is something that the fans think Percy should have just told her right then and there, could have saved her a lot of trouble. And it's just like, why would Percy tell her this? I want you to put yourselves in Percy's shoes. If you just killed your math teacher and saw the three ladies of death knitting some large ass socks, would you tell your mother? Because there's only one logical explanation for this. You got schizophrenia or some shit, other mental disorder. Time to take you and get you on some good meds. Because there is no reason for Percy to suspect that gods are involved or that his mother knows about it. So they go to Montauk, which is a beach, and stay at a cabin. Does Sally Jackson have some sea heritage? Because it states that her eyes turn the color of the sea. Not they are the color of the sea. They turn to the color of the sea. It's weird. we learn that Percy likes blue food and blue candy because Gabe once said there was no blue food, so they stuck it to him by making blue food. Petty is as petty does, I guess. So, and then Sally's not making any sense, really. She recounts that she's gonna have to try and she has to send Percy away. Which is like, why? Isn't that the whole reason she's married to Gabe? So Gabe will mask Percy's scent? So why does she have to send him away? Like, it's implying she's got to send him away to all these schools or some shit. Because that's why she sent him to Yancey. That doesn't really make any sense. Anyway. We get some information on his father, but not really. He, looks like Percy. And Percy has the faint remembrance of seeing him glowing. Also, another thing. As they were leaving the house, Percy, by gut instinct, did some ward off sign that Grover did, and it actually worked on Gabe. Gabe is so evil that Greek magic is working on his ass. So Percy's informed by his mother that there's now the only option of sending him to camp, which is where his father wanted him to go. And he's confused because why would he want to go to camp? Why is his mother making it seem so final? And he doesn't ask questions because he doesn't want to make his mother cry. Dude, make your mother cry. Get the details, dude. Make your mother cry. You need the details. But also, Percy should have probably already gone to Camp Half-Blood at this point. I mean, honestly. Also, he says he had some weird encounters. As a toddler, he Hercules'd it by killing a snake. Heracles did. Wasn't the snake sent by Hera to kill baby Hercules? Who sent the snake? Is this just a random snake that wandered in? Just a regular snake, not a monster snake? But also, someone had to send it, right? Was it Kronos? Was it Gaia? Was it Hera herself? So, they're woken up. Percy has a dream. It's two people fighting. Or, not really two people, two animals fighting, I think. And he's woken up from the dream by a hurricane. And again, they don't know it's a hurricane exactly. Maybe a storm, sure, but like, his mom wakes up with like, snap, hurricane. Does she have sea? Is she from the sea or whatever? Or is this just like a lucky guess? I don't know. So then Grover comes in and Percy's freaking out because Grover doesn't have any pants on. He has cloven hooves. That's not what's supposed to happen. That's not. No. His best friend isn't part goat. That's not how it's supposed to be. What's going on? So this is a chapter setup chapter. It's still divulging, plot relevancy, slowly, getting Percy to Camp Half-Blood with a plot's really going to start thickening. It's also giving us details about Sally to make her seem less like just Percy's mother and someone who's actually a character with life experience. Oh, she took care of her dying uncle. She lost her parents in a plane crash. She wanted to be a novelist. We also learn that she only spent a summer with Poseidon, which doesn't make sense because Percy's birthday is canonically in August. The math ain't mathin'. At least I think it's canonically in August. I could have sworn it was somewhere there. Maybe I just read it somewhere, but if that's true, the math ain't mathin'. I also love that we get the knowledge that Grover has to use the bathroom when he's nervous, and that's how Percy makes his escape. Overall, I'm going to give this chapter about a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.